Ambassador Krelthok's forearms trembled as he approached the human embassy on Neutral Station Omega. The Zephyrian diplomat had been chosen for this mission precisely because his species was considered among the galaxy's most skilled negotiators. Now, standing before the sterile white doors of the human diplomatic quarters, he wondered if any amount of skill could undo what his people had done. The child's name had been Emma Rodriguez. 7 years old. Brown hair, bright smile, fascination with the alien creatures she encountered during her family's diplomatic tour of the outer colonies. She had been visiting the Zephyrian homeworld as part of a cultural exchange program when the accident occurred. Krelthok still remembered the casual dismissal in the High Council's emergency session 3 months ago. "It was merely a human juvenile," Senator Vextar had said, his bioluminescent scales flickering with indifference. "These creatures breed prolifically. They will produce another." How wrong they had been. The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing Ambassador Sarah Chin, no relation to the child, but the resemblance was unsettling enough to make Krelthok's secondary heart skip. The human woman was small by galactic standards, barely reaching his lower chest, but there was something in her dark eyes that made him want to flee. "Ambassador Krelthok," she said quietly. Her voice was perfectly controlled, professionally courteous. Somehow, that made it more terrifying than any roar of anger. "Please come in." The office was Spartan, decorated only with a single photograph of a young human female with pigtails and a gap-toothed grin. Emma Rodriguez, frozen forever in a moment of pure joy. "I trust you've seen the reports," Ambassador Chen said, settling behind her desk. She didn't offer him a seat. Krelthok had indeed seen the reports. They had arrived at every major government in the galaxy simultaneously, delivered through quantum channels that should have been impossible to access. The message had been simple, detailed technical specifications for something called Project Nemesis. We had no idea," Krelthok began, his translator struggling with the emotional undertones. "The research facility that created the pathogen, it was a rogue operation. Unsanctioned. The Council, Ambassador Chen interrupted softly, authorized the development of species-specific bioweapons. Your scientists tested it on political prisoners first. When it proved 98% effective on humanoid physiology, they decided to field test it." The human woman stood and walked to the viewport, gazing out at the stars. "Emma was visiting your children's science museum. She wanted to see the butterfly garden. The aerosol dispersal system was hidden in the climate control." Krelthok's chromatophores flickered with shame. The intended target had been the human ambassador's security detail. The child's death had been, in his people's calculations, an acceptable casualty. "We are prepared to offer reparations," he said desperately. "Full technological exchange, resource sharing agreements, preferred trade status. Do you know what humans call it when someone kills our children?" Chen asked, still staring at the stars. Krelthok remained silent. "We call it unforgivable." The ambassador turned back to face him, and for the first time, Krelthok saw past her diplomatic mask. What he found there made his blood run cold. It wasn't rage. Rage would have been understandable, negotiable. It was something far more terrifying, complete, calculated determination. 3 months ago, you tested a bioweapon on a human child," Chen continued. "Within 72 hours of her death, every major government in the galaxy received detailed schematics for human weapons technology you didn't know existed. Stellar engineering, quantum manipulation, things that make your little plague look like a child's toy." She walked back to her desk and activated a holographic display. Star charts appeared, showing shipping lanes, fleet positions, colony worlds. "Project Nemesis isn't a weapon, Ambassador. It's a demonstration. We've shown you that we can reach anywhere, anytime, through any security system in the galaxy. We've proven that human technology is decades beyond what you imagined. And we've made it clear that we've been holding back. Krelthok's tertiary breathing apparatus seized. You're threatening the entire galaxy? No, Chin said, her voice never rising above a conversational tone. We're explaining the new reality. Every government that received those technical specifications now understands what humanity is capable of. They're also wondering why we've been pretending to be less advanced than we actually are. The human leaned forward, her hands folded calmly on the desk. The answer is simple. We hope to join the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. We wanted cooperation, not domination. We tried to fit in. She gestured to the photograph of Emma Rodriguez. But when you kill our children, you remind us why we developed these capabilities in the first place. Earth spent centuries preparing for threats from the stars. We built weapons to fight gods because we assumed that's what we'd find out here. Krelthok could barely speak. What do you want? Justice, Chin said simply. Everyone involved in Emma's death will stand trial under human law. The bioweapon program will be completely dismantled under human supervision. And the galaxy will remember that we are not prey. She stood and walked to the door, clearly ending the meeting. Tell your council this. We are still willing to be your partners. But we will never again pretend to be helpless. The age of humanity playing victim ended the moment Emma Rodriguez took her last breath. As Krelthok stumbled from the embassy, he could hear Chin's final words echoing in his mind. You wanted to test your weapons on humans. Consider this our response to your field test. Within hours, every major fleet in the galaxy had received new orders. Maintain maximum distance from all human vessels and territories until further notice. The message was clear. The galaxy's newest and most dangerous predator had finally stopped pretending to be prey.